Hello everybody and welcome back to, I was going to say Kerbal Space Program. This is not Kerbal Space Program. This is Victoria 3 and we nearly have all of Germany under our control at this point. We're lacking 3 locations: Bremen, Hohenzollern, and Saxony. Now, all of these places like us reasonably. And some of them, well, Hohenzollern primarily is going to be fairly possible. Well, wait, are they in a customs union with Austria? No? No. Okay. Right, because there is no existing diplomatic pact. Never mind. Ignore me. So we're going to work our way up on this customs union here. We have this revolution going on, and we've got a couple of other problems. Specifically, Bremen, we would very much like to get under our control for those sweet, sweet oil rigs. And the fact that, you know, they are a North German area. So we would very much like to get them under our control. Unfortunately, they are a protectorate of Scandinavia. And Saxony is in the same boat. They are a protectorate of Austria. Now, how can we do anything about that? That's a good question. I believe we checked through our potential things that we can do and didn't really find anything. There's regime change. There's conquering all of these states, which isn't really what we're looking for at all. And Saxony, interestingly, isn't in the list. Against Saxony directly, there's no possible diplomatic play. So, that's my question, is how do we release them as protectorate? I don't know. I don't know. That is something that we should try to find out. We do have a couple of unproductive trade routes, and we should get rid of those. Cool. We've also got low market access in 4 locations. I expect that we're already automatically building railways in all of them. I think that that's the case. Zeppelins have been unlocked. Okay. We're still working on our skyscraper survey, so we don't have a skyscraper. We do have expensive oil, and electricity is still expensive, as well as clippers, glass, and tools. Clippers are made by shipyards, and if I recall correctly... Let's see. Shipyards were under industry? That's not great, is it? In terms of income. We'll bring this up to multiples of 5 and call that good for now. But there's also steel, tools. Sure. Let's take a look at tools. Tools are all negative. For the time being, I'm not going to build any of those. Let's take a look at steel and glass. That's all negative as well. Okay. And what about steel? Steel is positive. Okay. We're going to build a bunch of steelworks. I do expect that this might make it no longer be profitable. And that's costing us a lot to construct because we're currently maxing out our construction, right? And our investment pool is empty. So that's expected. I'm not too surprised about that one. So we'll tick on forward here, working on a truly ludicrous number of steel mills, but we also are going to need to work on some more electricity. So we should queue that up at some point as well. I would love to upgrade our electricity to oil. Unfortunately, that's just not going to be a thing, I think. So instead, we're going to take all of these to like 50. This is going to be expensive. And we may have to pause construction at some point here. This is going to be a lot. Like, a whole lot. This is going to be a ridiculous amount. Possibly too much. We'll see. So this takes us up to 50 there, and then this needs to be 45 in total. Like that. So, that's a lot. That's a lot of power plants, right? That's going to keep our construction queue maxed for a good long time. We'll tick forward here. I'm concerned about how much we're spending on that. And also concerned about how few railways might get built in that time. We'll keep an eye on that. Market access may become a problem as we work our way through this construction queue. It's an insane construction queue. So we'll let all of this finish up for now. Once we're switched over to basically exclusively working on power plants, that means two things will happen. One, we're going to be spending a lot of money. And two, our investment pool is going to be building up like nobody's business. That means that we can then use that investment pool money on railways, in theory. And we would want to prioritize the construction of those. But this is potentially problematic, how much we have queued up here. Antibiotics have finished up. That's good. No longer strictly necessary, I think, but it's fine. Dough rollers would not be bad for automated bakeries. Oil turbines is something we would love to do. We simply don't have the oil for it. But we can grab dough rollers here. And checking in on our revolution, it's just chilling. Cool. So that's a good thing, that that's just chilling. And we're still building steel mills at this point. We're going to be building steel mills for a while here. And all of these constructions will eventually finish up. In the meantime, we've got all of this being worked on. So, like, for example, these guys here, we unfortunately have not gotten an obligation from them yet. We don't want to give them an obligation if we can at all help. So we're going to hold off on that for the time being. This peace treaty seems fine. No concerns there. But this is some massive deficit spending going on. We are going to be finishing up a bunch of these steel mills relatively soon. And we're noting our market access in Württemberg, where we are building a railway, and in Bavaria, where we are not building a railway. Okay, so we should definitely build a railway in Bavaria, at least one. It is 25 infrastructure per level. How many does Bavaria actually need? 1. Okay. So I want to alt-click to place that at the top of the construction queue. So that puts it right there. Hello, pause menu. Cool. And apparently the Ashkenazi people are still being persecuted. That's not what they should be doing. They should not be persecuting people because we need all of the people we can get. Now, that put us negative in our authority. We can back off on a greener grass campaign, and I think that'll be okay. So let's go ahead and remove a greener grass campaign in, say, North Rhine. There we go. Problem solved there. Fantastic. We're now seeing that we're beginning construction on our power plants. We should be expecting our income to get worse for a little while here before it starts to get better. And then beyond that, we should expect our investment pool to start building up soon as we work our way through these existing issues. So that's all fine. Our market access doesn't look too bad. We do have insufficient taxation capacity in Brandenburg, and that is actually a high priority. So we are going to construct a government administration at the top of the queue in Brandenburg. Beautiful. Anything else that we've got going on? Well, oil is not good. We need oil and clippers. We're working on the clippers, and unfortunately, we just can't get any more oil. We have it maxed out right now. We're the #1 oil producer in the world, I believe. Let's double check that. Let's see here. Yeah, we're the #1 producer worldwide by a wide margin. The #2 is Austria. Well, isn't that interesting? That is quite interesting. I'm currently looking at our finances here. Oh, I wanted to check. Did this GDP graph fix itself? No, it didn't. I restarted the game. Interesting. It must be in a different mode. Our skyscraper survey was completed, and now our skyscraper site has been identified. We can go ahead and lay the foundations here for 500 bureaucracy, which seems fine. 10% construction sector building throughput sounds really good. Okay, so that should now be in our journal. Construct a skyscraper. Yes. Also, we can do some of these things here, but any building in Brandenburg, building a skyscraper is not under construction. Okay, so in Brandenburg, we would build a skyscraper here. That's not going to make money, but maybe that's not the point. We'll get that underway, but that's at the bottom of the priority for now. We may move that up if we can burn investment pool on it. I'm not sure if we can or not. What is this? Oh, Hohenzollern wants to join our customs union. Accepted. Hopefully they'll join our confederation now. And we can be rid of this little blight on our territory here. That would be absolutely great. We'll see if they decide to do that, but they probably will. Everyone else virtually has. We can also think about maybe Krakow down here. And let's see, interactions. We can't really afford to do this with our diplomatic actions right now, but I think we can get there eventually. So we're currently bankrolling these guys. The question is that truly necessary at this moment? And the answer is maybe, but probably not. Brandenburg is still over its taxation capacity, as is Hanover. So we really should consider putting in a government administration in Hanover. And we'll queue that up at the top. Beautiful. So that is all looking quite good there. The real question now is just how bad is this construction going to be? It doesn't look like it's going to be that bad. In fact, this is looking quite good. Our investment pool is building up now because we are building our power plants. That's to be expected. Yeah, this is really not looking bad. I expected this to be worse than this. This is pretty good, actually. We're going to be able to cut taxes after we're done with all of this. That said, we've got a lot of power plants queued. Possibly too many power plants. We'll see. We shall see. Overall, financially, I think we're looking good. I do think that we're looking good there. We are short on tools, explosives, glass. We can think about building up some of that. So, tooling workshops are negative right now. That's fine. Glassworks, I believe, are negative as well. And what was the other one? Explosives, so chemical plants. Those are negative currently as well. Okay, noted. So, for right now, we're not too interested in that. We'll get there. We will definitely get there. Checking in on our GDP. Our GDP is... This graph is so much less helpful. I must have changed a setting or something on this graph to cause it to display, like, just Bavaria's GDP or something. 17.9 million. That seems correct-ish. Pin Bavaria to the outlier. I'm not sure what I did there. I no longer think this is a bug. I think this is showing something that I asked it to show accidentally. And I don't know how to change that. So that's fine, I guess. But for the time being, we are plowing our way through all of these power plants at a breakneck pace. But there's a lot of power plants to be made, right? Like, a lot of them. We're seeing Hanover, Württemberg, and Bavaria's market access dropping, and Hanover is still having -6 taxation capacity. So, realistically, we should queue up another government administration in Hanover. There we go. And then we should also queue up some railways in Bavaria, in Württemberg, and in Hanover. There we go. These are not going to get auto-queued up because our construction queue is huge, right? It's absolutely enormous. Hopefully that will pull some out of our investment pool. And I think it is, but our investment pool is still growing. That's fine. Dixie people have begun migrating to Modena. Okay. Sure. Cool. So this is kind of going to set us a little bit behind in terms of our constructions, right? We're going to have a bit of a construction deficit after we're done with this because there's been time for industries to build up their cash reserves. So that's fine. That's absolutely fine. How long is this construction queue? 150 weeks. So roughly a 3-year construction queue right now. And we're working our way through the railways and the government administrations. Those will be done in a little while. And the power plants are going to be coming online soon-ish as well. Electricity is still considered expensive. And we still have states in turmoil. We have a bunch of radicals right now. About 9 million. Okay. So I've been thinking about the way that standard of living and radicals interact. I don't know what the cap on standard of living is. If it's like 50 or 100 or something like that. But because of the way that these interact, you get radicals by the standard of living dropping, as well as other methods. But you get loyalists only, as far as I know, by the standard of living increasing. So my question is, what happens if your standard of living physically can't increase anymore? And it's like as high as it can go? And you just can't get loyalists or lose radicals because your standard of living doesn't go up or down. You're just maintaining there. And then your radicals just steadily drift upward due to issues like this. I feel like that's maybe a bit of a problem, and if you maintain a standard of living that's like, I don't know, maybe double the minimum expected, which to be clear, we're not at currently. But if you're maybe double the minimum expected, I feel like that should cause a steady downward pressure on radicals at some point. I don't know, I'm just throwing that one out there. It's not something I put a huge amount of thought into. It makes sense to me. So our number of loyalists is doing okay. That's good. And I'm checking in on our credit versus our credit cap. We'll be fine. I'm not concerned about it. We are making 414k outside of our construction. So this is absolutely fine. No problem whatsoever on this deficit. This is a very healthy deficit as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to be wrapping up all of these constructions eventually. 133 weeks at this point. We, however, need to be paying close attention to market access and taxation capacity. So in Brandenburg, we need another government administration. And we need to also build railways in Hanover, in Württemberg, and in Bavaria. All of those are high priority. And what is this? Wilhelm von Bismarck Bohlen, leader of the industrialists, has made a remarkable play for power in the capital in order to secure a spot for industrialists within the government. However, it's not entirely clear if they should be rewarded for their novel tactics. There's only one light in the street that leads to the industrialist headquarters. There's also only one light inside. There, Wilhelm von Bismarck Bohlen relaxes among the sumptuous mahogany furniture and velvet cushions. The lamp is identical to those that have been sent from the east. The ends justify the means, and our means are very, very justified. It's difficult not to believe him when he offers an inviting seat by his side. So we could support that scheme, or we could say, no, get out of here. Not all is fair in love and war. And that's what we're doing. The industrialists have been working against us a lot recently. So that'll be fine. We're going to be finishing up these constructions over here soon enough, and we'll keep an eye on our taxation capacity. It looks like our market access has already come up before we finish up these railways. I'm still going to build the railways, though. That should be fine. Excellent. And looking in at our power plants here, we can see a number of these locations have finished up their expansion, and that's great. Okay, that's in France. Sure, whatever. So we have seen a small increase to our deficit. But overall, I think this is very good. I'm concerned about hitting our credit cap, but if we do, we know that it will automatically pause our construction, and that's not a problem. We can automatically pause our construction. That's completely and totally fine. Cool. So this is all seeming reasonable. Yes, our credit is building up. Yes, we're paying a lot in interest right now. Yes, I would like to drop our interest payments. There's no doubt about that. I just saw a hardwood input goods shortage. So I'm going to use some of the funds in our investment pool to build logging camps wherever we can at top priority. Okay, so that maxes out all of our logging camps. Cool. And note that that drops our deficit down, because that's going to be pulling out of our investment pool, not out of our finances, the way the power plants do. So that buys us a little bit of time there, while also getting logging camps online. And it won't take very long to build those logging camps, in all honesty. So that's not a problem. We're noting an input goods shortage of silk. So synthetics plants are the way to do that. I'm also going to expand our synthetic plants a fair amount here. Once again, this was not necessarily what I wanted to do. Can we cancel this construction? Well, we can, but we would have to go to, like, page 16 here. Okay. This is very tedious. Let's cancel these synthetics plants. This was intended to be elsewhere. And slightly different in terms of how much it was going to cost. So, or rather the timing on it, I guess, is what I'm really looking for. So I wanted this to be Alt-Shift-clicked. And then we'll bring this up to 15, this up to 15, this up to 15, this up to 15. This would go up to 4, and then 14. There we go. Something like that. So these are going in at the beginning, right? Did they all go in at the beginning? No, they did not. Okay. That's interesting. I was holding Alt that entire time, but we'll Alt-click these to move them to the top. There we go. And note how we are now making money. Note how we are now no longer increasing the amount of money we're making. That is because our synthetics plants here have fully displaced our power plants. And that's going to eat through our investment pool, which is exactly what we want. Apparently the skyscraper is being constructed right now, which is not necessarily what we want. Let's move that down to the bottom. There we go. So our synthetics plants are going to be going on. What is this diplomatic play here? Belgium versus revolutionary Belgium. So we're automatically in this. We're going to send Herman here. And we'll send him to go advance the Westphalia front. And then we're also going to raise up Paul von Hindenburg here. And he is going to advance the Wallonia-Flanders front. Okay. That should be more than sufficient to get Belgium protected. Cool. So these guys are at 72 opinion of us, huh? They would accept an alliance. Which we would definitely do. Cool. Once their opinion hits 80, they should offer to join our confederation, if my understanding of how this works is correct. Cool. So I don't think we're going to have major difficulties with this. Belgium has begun conscription. Actually, hang on. So has France. France has joined against us. I'm not sure we win that. But we can send Helmut von Moltke over to the Ile-de-France Flanders front, we're going to need to get these battalions no longer in reserve. So where are they? This is our garrisons here. Let's see here. Yeah, that's in the Poland HQ and the Rhine HQ. So do we have any commanders in those HQs right now? This guy is... where are they? I don't know. We should probably recruit a general. Yeah, we don't have any in those HQs. So we'll recruit one in the Poland HQ and then one in the Rhine HQ. Then I believe both of them will need at least a couple of promotions. So we'll promote this guy. And again, up to 56. That seems about right. And then promote this guy, and again, up to 48. We still have 37 battalions in reserve, and they are where? I don't actually see them here. So we might need to tick forward a bit. Okay, so we want to probably... honestly be defending these fronts. So let's have all of these guys simply defend the fronts. And then this guy can defend here. Yes. And we may also want to mobilize our conscripts. Okay. So this is easiest if we go on the bottom, because it just kind of... oh, this is still a little awkward, but easiest if we go on the bottom here and just work our way up because of the way that it takes a moment and then disappears. Cool. So we'll get that all conscripted. I don't think we're going to win this war, to be clear. Because France joined on the other side, I don't think that this war is going to be a victory for us. But we'll try. We'll see what we can get done. For now, though, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to probably end up losing this war for Belgium. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisol, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.